Good evening, everyone. This is Leslie Osoyan. Welcome to Better Wethersfield. My co-host Kathy Stickley couldn't make it this evening, but we've got a great show for you. We've got the Pieces Literary Magazine students, a great club at the Wethersfield High School, and I'm so excited for you guys to meet these students and meet the club founder, and we're going to talk all about the program. This entire show is dedicated to these amazing artists and writers, and we're really excited to bring it to you. So welcome to the show, and let's get started. First, I want to introduce everyone to Mrs. Reardon. She is the founder of the club, Pieces Literary Magazine. And over here, this is Matt Wilson, and this is Beth, Abby, and Taylor. And they're going to show you their pieces respectively in just a few minutes. But Mrs. Reardon and I are going to talk for a couple minutes and talk about the club. So welcome, Mrs. Reardon.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm very excited.
Again, it's been a while.
I know. Leslie and I are friends.
So tell us about the club. Tell us everything that you can think of. Like how did you get started with it? Why are you the founder? How did that come about?
Well, when the club first got resurged, it was 2005, and this is actually the first, what was before Pieces. It was called Graffiti.
It was called Graffiti?
Yeah, I didn't like that name. I didn't start that. It was a student who started it, and I was her advisor by lieu of the real advisor, who was an English teacher, not actually ended up doing it. And so I was running all the meetings. I ended up, having all the club members come into my lab, and we did all our work in there. And we made the girl who was in charge of it when she first started it was Caitlin Taylor, and she actually made this club Graffiti. And as you can see, it was a very, very basic, very bare bones publication. And what we've done, when Caitlin stopped being part of it when she graduated as a senior, I said, I'm sorry, we got to get rid of the name Graffiti. It has bad connotations. I never liked the name. I said, let's try and make it a decent name that showcases what we're actually doing here. And Pieces came from masterpieces. It was short for masterpieces because I feel like, that's what they do. And I let the kids vote on it, and I let the kids decide if they wanted that. There was actually, I don't even know the other names now because I really was hoping for Pieces, but I let them vote on it, and it actually won. And that's how Pieces began. And the
How
whole
many kids were in it at that time?
Oh gosh, when I started, when I kind of took over and became the advisor, there was only, it says 5 people. But let me tell you, out of these 5 people, there was only the person that was in charge and one other girl who came to the meetings. So for the first 3 years, because that's a whole other story, but there was very low attendance. Let's say no one really was into it. It was very kind of one-sided. And what happened when I took it over, I really made sure everybody had a place to put their pieces to life and to be seen. I did not prevent anybody from being a part of the club. It didn't matter what you were, what nationality, what sex, what whatever. It didn't matter. If you were handicapped, it doesn't matter. I take everybody and anybody. Where it was kind of like pickier before, and that's why nobody wanted to be a part of it, really, because it was there was a little bit of a negativity problem.
Well, did everybody know? Did the students know what the club was?
At the time, no, because it was very, very small, and it wasn't really advertised. When I got into it, I started, well, my original Pieces started with probably maybe 10 people. Okay. When this group came in, oh my gosh, 35 kids came. We actually did some fundraisers to try and draw attention to ourselves. We did Twilight Night. Now that was probably the eye-opening event of the whole Pieces. It was so popular, and everybody who came, all of a sudden was like, oh, what is this Pieces, and plus younger siblings of a lot of people, that helped, every time. Oh gosh, we must get 35 new people every single year now. Wow. It sort of took on a life of its own, and I worked to grab people. Like I saw her in my lab, I took her. I said, oh, I'm asking the kids, it doesn't matter. I ask anybody and everybody, do you like to write? Do you like to draw? I will teach you. If you don't, we'll work with you. Can you do the computer? Can you do digital art? Can you do Photoshop? I mean, I'm constantly looking for people and always having my eye open if I see somebody doing something special. Right? I mean, I'm always, they see me in action because they're in my room a lot.
Well, let's tell the audience exactly what Pieces Literary Magazine is.
Okay. It's a place where writers and artists unite, which is exactly what it says, Pieces where artists and writers unite. This is one of the earlier issues, or the earliest when I took over as the initial Pieces. Yep. And it went from that and that we had different colors for the seasons with the same basic picture. Then we went to this, which was last year, or 2 years ago, sorry. Then we went to what I always originally wanted, the look. I wanted to have actual puzzle pieces with the pictures from the inside of the magazine also on the puzzle pieces.
Fantastic.
So that's how we got to that. And then this is this year's first issue, which, as you can see, is a much classier, much more professional publication. I mean, it's pure color. It's,
Oh, wow, look at this.
oh yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
It's very coordinated now, and the whole point that I always wanted to make pieces, how I wanted it to work was, I wanted, like I said, where writers and artists unite. I always wanted it that when I had a piece of writing, I would have an artist look at the writing and they would get to choose. I just put them on a table. I put a pile of writing on a table and a pile of art on the table. And all my writers go to the art and they're scrambling for it. You never seen so many kids so excited to write something, and you know, and they're like, oh, this one's really good. I think I can draw something for that. And then they go to a table, they start drawing immediately, and that's pretty much what the club is, and vice versa.
Is it free?
It's totally free. Yep. At one point, we did try and charge $5 as a way of just weeding out maybe kids that weren't serious, because we have so many kids that joined. I mean, and I think they just thought, you know, it's so much fun, we want to be part of this club, and that's great because I want everybody to be a part of it and have fun. But it was really hard for me to control because there were 75 kids. I mean, most of the time about 45 at a time, you know. But that's a lot of kids for one person to be in charge of it. It's totally voluntary. Yeah. So it was really getting kind of crazy, and to keep, you know, control enough and be able to get things accomplished was really getting difficult, you know. So we thought we'd do that, but then it didn't really work out, so we didn't charge this year. We've kept it free all along. But it's basically, we want the writing to go with the art and the art to go with the writing. That's a huge part of pieces. So it's always coordinated, and I think that's unique.
So how do
in
you
a literary
know
magazine.
What to publish, what pieces to publish?
Well,
If you have 75 students in the club,
oh yeah,
you must get a lot of great pieces.
We do. We do.
So,
it's very hard.
Like how many, is this the current one?
Yep.
How many is in here?
I only ever do 45 pages, including the front and back cover. Okay. The inside, if you'll notice, show the front and back. Okay. That's a centerfold. So obviously the centerfold's a very, that's a centerfold. It's a very important piece. If you get to be in the centerfold, it's a very prestigious part of the magazine. That is obviously where everybody would like to be seen, you know.
Who chooses that?
We kind of take it, these are all my officers right here, and so we kind of look and we decide which one we think is the best, and it should be a picture that looks good in the centerfold too. Right, I mean, some aren't going to look good in a centerfold, so, you know, you just want...
Even if they are fantastic.
Even if they're fantastic. So those ones go on the front and back.
Masterpiece.
Right, even though they all are masterpieces. Right. So those go on the front and back cover. So if you look to the front and the back cover, because the outer paper is very special paper, it's a not high gloss, but it's a heavier weight paper that I use for the outer. So if you open up the front and back inside cover, this is like a key place to be. You want to be in the front or the back. Okay. Is the #1 place, is obviously anywhere in the magazine is fabulous. And what I do is if I can't take your art or you know, writing, we'll put it on the website. And we just haven't had someone that can really focus on that, but Matt's going to be taking that over now, thankfully. That way everybody gets a chance to be seen and published no matter what. You know, and there's always other issues. So what I'll do is if someone gives me something that's more summery or springy sounding, I'll put it in for the spring issue. If someone gives me something obviously for winter, it's about snow or snowmen or what have you, all winter type things, I'll put it in the winter issue. And if there's something more fall or summerish, then we'll do that for the fall issue.
Yeah, but did you guys see online the Board of Ed's website how there was a great article about your
that
was great. And then there's the artwork there.
I couldn't believe it.
It's amazing.
It was so fabulous.
Fantastic. What did you think of that, Matt? Did you see it?
Yeah, with the revamp of the Board of Education website, it looks really, really good. And
it does.
It's great that we're finally showcased online
yep.
besides our website, so everybody who goes to the Board of Ed site can see it.
Beth, did you see it?
Yeah, it was nice.
What did you think?
I thought it was a really good way to get our artwork out for people to see.
That was fantastic. What about you, Abby? Did you
I saw it, and I was really surprised because I didn't expect that because we don't get a lot of the advertisement that we kind of need and like deserve, I think, because everyone's really talented. So I thought it was great, and I read the article, and I had my parents read it, and I thought it was
good.
I thought it was a really good way to get it out
there.
That's
great. Taylor, did you see it?
Yeah, it was actually more. We stumbled upon it accidentally. We didn't even know it was up there.
You told me. That's how I found it.
It was just we kind of stumbled upon it. It was just.
I'm like, what is she talking about?
It was such a surprise to us because we've never really been showcased like that, and so it was just very exciting for everyone.
Yeah,
for
I
us to have our
actually cried.
things out.
Yeah.
I did. I cried because we have worked so hard 7 years I've been doing this club, and we've really, you know, we've struggled all the way through, and we've not ever had funding. We don't have, we have, Mr. Moore supports us very, very religiously. He's really good about it.
The entire school, I mean, we've applied for grants in the past. English teachers have helped us apply for grants, and it's not that there isn't a lack of support, rather just a lack of funding.
Exactly.
So you haven't gotten any grants?
No, well, all the other clubs get paid as well, and Beth did or most of them do. And so we've always strived to get our club paid for because we feel like we're a valuable entity to the school. We're one of the biggest clubs in the whole school.
We are the biggest club.
We are the biggest club. I don't think there is another club that's bigger than us.
How do you get funds?
We have to do fundraisers, which is very difficult because there's so many fundraisers going on for every club in the school that, you know, you get like, the kids get, I think, sick of it and overrun. The teachers kind of get annoyed with it. The parents get annoyed with it. So you don't want to make a chore out of it. And you don't want to really make it to be like this big, you know, depressing issue that, oh God, we had to do another fundraiser, you know.
But so I know we talked last year.
Yes.
You did say that money came out of your pocket too.
Oh, money, a lot of money's come out of my pocket over the years.
The program and the kids and that's fantastic.
I love these kids, and people have told me, Tracy, just don't do it anymore, and then, you know, maybe the money will come. And I'm like, I can't not do it for these kids. I could never not do that.
We are so lucky to have a great advisor to do all this, because we honestly couldn't do this without you.
Thanks, guys.
Well,
I know. We're definitely a family, and I would never let them down. I just couldn't do that. I couldn't. We've done too much together to.
So you guys have a website?
Yes.
And what's your website?
WHS.
www.whslitmag.com. And over the next couple of weeks, it's going to go over it's going to have a huge facelift.
Oh yeah, just like the regular.
There's a bunch of already great poems and short stories that we couldn't fit in the magazine. And over the next couple of months and weeks, we really hope to revamp it and put a bunch more photos and short stories and poems that couldn't make it into the magazine.
So do you think that you'll be the club advisor for a long time to come?
If I'm there, I don't see anybody else who would do it, actually. I don't think I'll have people vying for the role.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think so.
Wow, that's surprising.
So.
I mean, especially since it's such a big club.
Well, I have a new woman, Ruth George, who now helps me with editing at least. So that is huge because before we would sometimes, I mean, I could not do everything. I was designing. I was, you know, typing the stuff in. I was making the magazine happen. I was printing it, and I want them to get the whole magazine experience. That's another reason I wanted to do this. I want them to be able to help me put it together. I would love to have a printing press, and like a lot of people have real magazine rooms. Oh, that would be like the ultimate dream to have a room like that, to really make it a real magazine production. But you know, we don't even have funding, so that's kind of out of the picture. That's my big dream, but that's neither here nor there. And so basically. Right now, we just use my colored copier, laser copier, which Mr. Moore has graciously paid for, the printing at least in the paper, because he was in the literary magazine himself, I guess, when he was in high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he told me that. Yeah, I know. I didn't know either until I asked, you know, what am I going to do? I need help with this club. I need some money. So that's how we've survived so far, pretty much. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't have a club at all. I know.
So how many times a year do you publish your magazine?
We would like to do 3 a year. We have done most of the time 3 a year. Last year I was ill, so we only did 2. And this year we definitely are going to get 3. We already did our first issue, as you saw, which was on, and not all that was on there. I just noticed today, I went to go find a picture by Abby, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's missing multiple pages here. So they picked and chose what they wanted to put on there, which is fine, you know. Although hers was a very beautiful picture, and I really was sad because I wanted that picture for tonight's show.
But hopefully over the next couple of weeks it'll appear. We're trying to get the entire magazine to appear on the website as well. So.
Definitely, we'll make sure.
You mean your individual website or the Board of Ed's?
Our individual website, but hopefully in the future.
Yeah, the Board of Ed would be nice too.
Would be nice.
I know, exactly.
Oh, we'd be thrilled if that was happening.
Okay, so why don't you maybe introduce your students and your club members, and maybe you can pick which one you want to start off first, showcasing their work. Okay.
Taylor Yade is one of my right-hand women here. She has been my secretary for the past probably 3 years. I think we got you a secretary when you were a freshman even. She was that organized and that efficient that we said, you're going to be the secretary, even over other older kids. And so Taylor's been my secretary all along, and she will definitely be in the running for one of my chief editors next year. In fact, these 3 were my 3 main people, and Abby's great, but she's got so many other things going on that half the time I don't see her. Otherwise, you would definitely be in the running too. You'll definitely be one of the top.
Thanks.
One of the senior editors. She's always been my digital colorization woman. I always can turn to her. She digitally colored our sign. She has a digital she draws everything on her digital pad, which she's going to show after. So it was Abby Coogan, and I heard through the grapevine that you won one of the Scholastic Awards.
Oh, I did actually.
Yes, she did, which is the Scholastic Art Award, and that's something I'm very proud of. My kids have all gone on, that have been in my club, to art school, to creative writing school.
Wow.
They've gotten scholarships, full scholarships.
Fantastic.
And these kids were not noticed until I don't want to sound like I'm tooting my horn.
You're
but,
not, it's fine.
But, some of them were never noticed. And that was another reason I wanted this club to be what it is. I wanted it to be a club that kids that fall through the cracks or don't often get noticed, because there's always those select few you're going to have that are like the stars. You know what I mean? They're so obviously, I don't know, they've been like the art student of the month forever. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
let me
they
ask you
come up-
this,
Yes.
for the viewers who are watching the show.
Right.
What if they're thinking to themselves, well, wait a second, doesn't the high school have an art program during the day that's not after school, that's,
They do.
So
Yep.
why wouldn't their work perhaps be showcased there, or?
Well, she can only, I'm assuming she can only showcase so many people. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
You mean the art teacher?
yes, the art
Okay.
teacher, art teachers, yes. So they have to, in her defense, she'd probably have to pick and choose a select few that she can really focus on.
Right.
Where there's so many other kids that are so amazing and fantastic of artists. I said, these kids need to be shown too. And I know when I was in school, that was something that always bothered me. I was an artist, I was a writer, and I felt like I didn't always get noticed as much as other kids who were like, oh, the big artists and writers. You know what I mean? So I kind of felt, I don't know why, when I got involved in this, it was just, I was a technology person, advisor at first. I just kind of fell into this whole situation. But as soon as I did, I realized there was a place here that I could showcase these kids that don't always, get to show their work. Now, she's obviously involved with the real art teacher, too.
Yeah.
she's getting to showcase and win scholarships, which is wonderful, because you got money for your prize, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought it was a monetary prize, too.
It might be. I don't know much about it.
Okay.
I just got the email. So.
I just heard today that she won. But my whole point was I wanted to give these kids an outlet, have them feel good about something. Mr. Moore said to me, I'm just happy that there's somewhere for these kids to go during the day that they feel safe and they feel comfortable and that makes them happy to want to come to school.
Now, during the day, is this after school, or?
It's after school, but I see these kids
Okay, and Mr. Moore is
multiple
who?
times.
Tell
Mr.
the
Moore is
viewers.
our principal
Okay.
of Weathersfield High School. So one of the reasons he enjoys me being in charge of this club so much is that I end up befriending all these kids, and then they have a place to come to, and I do see them all day long for the most part. I mean, whenever there's a study hall, they're in my room. Whenever there's in between classes, they'll come. Oh, I have to tell you about my grades. I have to tell you how good. And so they call me mom. I'm kind of like their school mom because I take care of them. I make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do and going to class. So kind of, I think a lot of pieces is that it pulls together. Well, it keeps them in line. I try and keep them in line. I try and keep you guys all doing what you're supposed to do. And just to me, that's another part of my job. Even
So
though it has
what-
nothing to do with art and writing.
Right, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
What's the difference between, say, an art class that's, taught at the school versus the club? Is it something where it's,
I'm not teaching technique.
is it more like organic, where it's more
Yes,
freestyle?
exactly.
Okay, so they have more
Yes.
freedom to do with
Oh.
their,
Total freedom.
yeah.
They can do it any type of. They can do photography. They can do charcoal. She's going to show. We have digital art. We have sketches. We have magic marker art. I mean, we have pastels.
Wow.
Oh yeah, watercolors. You name it. They can do anything and everything. Any direction they want to take with it. Sculpture. I have a sculpture in this last issue. I have another one
You mean
for the
clay?
next one. Yeah, clay.
Oh, see, to me, I was thinking like art, and I'm thinking, someone who
Yeah.
draws portraits. I
Oh,
can
no,
sit
we do
there and
have
they'll
that,
draw a
but-
portrait.
Oh
and,
yes, we have people
but I
that will do
guess-
that. We have artists who can do that.
But there's a lot
Oh.
more to it than that. It's not.
I wanted everything. I wanted to. I didn't want to leave anybody out. So if
So where do you
you're,
get the software for this?
we actually use Publisher, Microsoft Publisher, which is a
Oh,
program.
really?
Yeah, that's what we're using to publish our magazine.
Oh
We
my
want to
God.
switch to InDesign.
Which it's very difficult
Very
to
difficult. We haven't learned on it. There's been a learning curve there that we need to really learn how. We don't get training, so this is all done. I taught myself Publisher.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting how you. I mean, now I'm like a publisher queen, but when I first started, I had no idea. But it's very similar. All the Microsoft programs are very similar.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
It
So
is,
thank goodness.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, Beth is one of my. Actually, Beth started out as a writer. And Beth was an awesome writer. And then all of a sudden one day, I don't even know how this happened, but you started taking pictures. I think you took your dad's camera. Wasn't it what started you on this? And she also was an artist, but she did some sketch arts, but mostly writing was your big, forte when I first met you. And then all of a sudden she brought these unbelievable photos in, and her photos are phenomenal. And I'm like, Beth, you have an art here. A gift. You have a gift in photography. You gotta, use this. Let's get you going on this, And once I did that, pretty much, you've been going on it ever since. And Beth uses a program that she is free online because a lot of kids don't have the money to buy Photoshop. Mm-hmm. Photoshop is a very expensive program. I think it's like $300. Yeah, And so you can. I don't know if you want to tell about the program that you use. Oh, okay, we can take it.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I use Picnic online, which is kind of like Photoshop, except not as advanced, and it's a lot easier to use, and I use it to edit all my pictures.
Yep.
Is it free?
Mm-hmm.
Picnic?
Free. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Is it picnic.com?
With a K at the end instead of a C.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. Oh, that's cool.
Yep,
I should write that down.
Yep, it's something that it's good to know because I thought that's why I really wanted her to talk about it and show her pictures that she's edited and her photos here.
Do you hold this? Or?
This is one of your favorite pictures.
I love this picture.
So Beth, tell us, what's your last name?
Chantry.
And what grade are you in?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior, and how long have you been in the club?
Since my freshman year.
Oh. So tell us about this picture.
Well, I was in my room one day, and I found a little bottle with bubbles, and I was like, I wonder if I could take pictures of these. So I tried, and it came out actually kind of nice. So.
Yeah. I said I couldn't believe how she was able to capture the colors and the bubbles because I would think that's not an easy thing to do. I mean,
oh yeah,
you can see it by your eye, but to be able to actually see it so clearly, and I love the pink wand and the way the bubbles were flowing across the screen. I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. I want this picture.
It's hard to keep the bubbles going.
Thank you. I mean, perfect drama bubbles, and and you were doing it while you're taking the picture too, which is, I don't know how they do this. They're always snapping pictures of themselves, but this was quite an impressive shot, and I said, I love that picture. That is definitely going in. So when I see things I love, it's like, oh, that's mine. This is going in some. And this is going to go in the spring issue, and this is a very cool picture.
Am I holding it the right way?
Yep,
yeah.
You are. You can tell that.
I was actually on a hike in the morning one day at Anytown. It's a camp, and I saw that, and I just took a quick picture of it, and I edited it on Picnic, and came out kind of nice. So.
It did. So
what is this?
It was like a lake and like a rock in the middle of the lake.
Isn't that crazy? I am fascinated by. I mean, I don't like spiders, mind you, but spider webs. No, but I love spider webs because they're such a piece of art in themselves. I mean, look at the intricate design of this spider web and how do they? I don't get how they actually can form these things, but I mean, I just thought the way she captured it was so beautiful to see the scenery through the spider web, and then the colors and everything was just spectacular. Look how green the grass is and the blue of the purpley blue of the lake. I just thought that was so beautiful. And the reflection even of the trees in the water. So that's going to be in the spring issue, for sure.
Yeah.
That was another one I was like, oh, mine. And this one we have a poem to go with. And I'm going to have Taylor, who is one of our writers, she's going to read the poem. Like I said, we always have art go with writing. This is one of our new freshmen. Mm-hmm. You can tell who it is and I'll do it.
This is a poem called Frozen Water by Joseph Wolowitz. He is one of our new freshmen. In the chilling night of the quiet calm, hidden in the forest of still trees, stands an old iron building rotting away. There hangs on a cold, still, icy hook a small piece of frozen water, crystal clear, a perfect example of winter beauty. A frozen water, a sign of winter, with its long-forgotten beauty, it cannot lose its perfection. Just as that ice can be a work of art, no matter how many of them you see, that is the beauty of the mind. All is different to everyone, even frozen water.
Is that intense or what? Wow. That's a freshman, people. So and that's just from looking at this picture, and he saw the picture. Oh, I can write something with that, and that's what I'm saying about the amazing collaboration that goes on, and the amazing art that gets developed as a result of this process. But go ahead.
Beth, what did you think of the words that?
I love when people write for my pictures. It makes them feel so much better to me. I never thought it was my pictures of the way that other people see them. So it's nice. I like it.
Was there any similarities in terms of how you felt about what you were photographing, or?
I was just like, oh, that's pretty. I'm gonna go get my camera, and someone writes this gorgeous poem about it. I was just like,
right? Very
I
deep. It's a
know.
nice poem. He's a really good buddy writer.
So his piece of writing will be showcased next to
Exactly.
this
Yep.
piece, this
Yep.
photograph in the magazine.
Yes,
In
correct.
the spring issue?
Winter.
Oh, winter.
His ice.
Very,
That one's gonna be
very
winter.
beautiful.
Isn't that nice?
Awesome job, Beth. That's fantastic.
Got,
Look at this.
I got one picture. Let's go on to Abby next. There we go. It's on the back one. Okay.
So who wants to go next?
I guess I will.
Okay.
I'm Abby Coogan. I'm a junior, and I've been in Lit Mag since freshman year when Miss Reardon recruited me.
Yes.
And aside from doing my own traditional art and writing, I am the digital editor of the Lit Mag, which basically means that I use my graphics tablet, which plugs right into my laptop. And whatever I draw in here or color, it appears on the screen. So I can take the scans that Ms. Reardon sends me and digitally color them, like the banner back there. And like this piece, which was drawn by Gage Turcotte, who's another member of the Lit Mag.
Freshman.
He's a freshman, yeah. So Ms. Reardon sent me that scan, and I was able to, using Photoshop in my tablet, put in the colors and the shading and the lighting and everything in there, so it became a finished piece.
And ironically, she wrote the poem. He drew it from the poem that you wrote. I just thought of that, and it's actually
Oh, yeah.
this issue. So if we want to read the poem from the issue, we can.
Taylor,
Go
would you
with
read
that. You want to read that, Taylor? And what happened was Gage.
Here, wait.
Gage looked at this poem.
I think there was a word missing.
Oh, it's okay. Gage looked at this poem, and you can see he likes. This is actually Link from
Okay, it's good.
Legend of Zelda. And he was surprised I knew that, but I have a daughter who's very into that game. So I do know a lot of things because I have younger kids myself. And he drew this picture within 15 minutes. This guy is so fast. He can literally draw anything you want within 15 minutes, and it's the most amazing art you've ever seen. And I did not know that when I first met him. I was asked if he could join our club. He is part of the special ed department, very sweet boy. And I wasn't sure. They said, "Oh, he's really good," but I didn't know him, So I'm like, "Okay, sure, I don't care. Send him along."
Have you turned students away?
Never, never.
Okay.
And I was trying to, they just, give him something to draw. He'll draw it. And I'm like, okay. So I said, well, would you see any poems that you think you might like? And he says, no, I think I can draw that one. The kid drew it in 15 minutes, and it came
I
out
love
with this
it.
amazing picture. When I showed Abby, I'm like, Abby, look what he did. And so ironically, she colors, it was black and white drawing, and she colored it in for her own stuff. It worked out really well.
Yeah, it did.
But it's a really good poem anyway, so Abby's also a writer as well.
I mean, that's like a twofold interpretation almost, because interpreting what someone's writing, but then, Abby had to interpret what he drew, what was just pencil?
Exactly, just pencil, black
And
and
then,
white.
so
Yep.
your interpretation might have been different than what he was actually.
It actually was at first,
It
and
was at first.
then
That's
we
amazing.
talk, and I can make
So
the
a lot of
changes that he
collaboration.
wanted. So
Which is very
Oh, that's
good. And
great.
they learn teamwork, which is a huge part of
Absolutely.
growing up, because in the real world, everybody
That's
works
right.
as a team. So
Yeah.
that's a big thing with.
You can't all be divas.
No, we can't. We are a big team. We're a big team. But we'll have Taylor read. While you show this, we'll have
Okay.
Taylor read that.
Born in the shadow of the mountain. Born in the shadow of the mountain, the sun kept from reaching my face, the rocks blocked by the wind, but the cliffs locked me in, and I'm crying in the shadow of the mountain. I lived in the shadow of the mountain, feeling trapped and cold and alone. The sun always conquers the summit, so I'm lying in the shadow of the mountain, but I'm growing with the promise of a climb.
And that was the poem, and he came up with this.
Wow.
And it was
Pretty amazing.
pretty darn amazing. In 15
Yes.
minutes. I was like,
Absolutely.
woo.
some words.
Now you're impressive. Okay,
wasn't
yes,
your
I
fault.
said you're in. You're my new member. He was very happy to come whatever said. And I can always count on him because we did the letter I, in fact, in Wethersfield in 15 minutes.
Yes, I would be remiss if I failed to mention to the audience that these kids worked on our banner, Better Wethersfield, so kudos to them. They did a fantastic job, and it's just so amazing. Thank you guys really for doing this for
Oh,
us.
no problem.
really
It's a
great,
work in
so.
progress. It's still going to be fixed. So we were rushing for today's show, but we will edit it, and next time it'll look perfect. It'll be absolutely beautiful. Let's see.
Taylor, you want to go?
What would you like me to share first? Some of my own work?
Yeah, why don't you share some of your own? And if you want to do the one that goes with the Dancing in the Rain, then we can show the picture that goes with it. This is one that
This is a picture that Jessica Gray. She is a sophomore that she did for me. I asked her, I wrote this poem, and I looked at it, and I knew immediately that I wanted her to draw for it. So I gave her the poem, and I asked her, will you draw something for me? And she said, yeah, no problem. And she just drew this from reading this poem.
And literally just gave this to me yesterday.
All in charcoal.
And I went, oh my gosh, wait till Taylor sees this. She's gonna have a heart
I
attack.
can't wait to hear what she
I
wrote.
know,
I can't wait to
it's
hear what you wrote, Taylor.
A beautiful poem.
Dancing in the rain. Raindrops run down your cheekbones, get caught in your eyelashes, glisten in your hair, drip off your chin. We stand in the rain, not caring that we're soaked through. We run through the grass, getting splashed with mud. We laugh like little kids, not a care in the world. We move like the wind, flowing and soft. We twirl under the stars, taking in everything around us. I wish it could last forever, but I know it will soon have to end. So for now, you take my hand and we dance in the rain.
Beautiful.
I love that.
Thank you.
Amazing.
And so she had gotten that poem, and that's the creation that she came up with it to go with her poem.
I mean, I don't know if you can see this, the audience members, but and behind here, it's like a couple of dancing. or-
Exactly. Yep.
It's just it's so beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful? And so we
Oh yeah, you can
scanned them.
see.
Yeah.
You can see on the prompter.
We scan it in is how we get all our, we have to digitize everything so we can obviously put it into the magazine. So
Right,
whether
right,
it's a
right.
sculpture or a piece of art, I have to, and our scanner is tiny. So I always have to do it in two pieces, or whoever's scanning for me, Matt's done a zillion scans for me. We have to scan it in two pieces, then put it back together again without,
Showing the line.
disfiguring, yes,
Right.
showing a line, cutting the red
Like
off a little bit.
wallpaper.
Yeah, exactly. That's an art in itself, is putting
Right.
these pieces back together. Putting the pieces back together is an
Well,
art in
someday
itself.
maybe you'll have your own little studio
I
at
hope
the
so.
high school, you know.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. But that was that, and then she has another piece, I think, that she don't you?
Yeah. A little unorganized. I have a few to go with the pictures that are on the wall over there.
So I don't know if we can zoom in on the picture while she reads it.
Sure.
Okay, the one that's second over from the right, the marionette. It's a girl. Looks like she looks like a puppet. She's
Right.
Yep. The one on
There
the
it goes.
far right is a picture of winter, and then
There
a
we
winter
go.
backyard
Oh, there you
scene.
go, right on the prompter.
Yep. Perfect. Okay.
Great.
Okay, marionette, held up by strings attached to a wooden handle, leg up, arm down, all against your will. Smile because you have to, move because you must. Lose all your control, master holds all the power. Don't know how to break free, prisoner in your own mind. Can't live your own life, but must live the one the puppeteer chooses. You're lost in the world of a puppet.
And that was also Jessica Gray. Jessica Gray also drew that one.
We
So
tend
you
to
can see-
coordinate a lot with our stuff.
one.
I know. I'm telling you, these are amazing artists and writers. They are really, really good. Let's see, Matt, why don't we do you, and then we'll have you do a few more after of the
Of some
other
others,
kid
yep.
stuff. Yep.
Oh.
Matt went on a beautiful trip. And he
Um,
got these amazing pictures.
Hi, my name's Matt Wilson, and I'm the Photoshop editor of the Literary Magazine. And I not only do I scan in photos and help edit them, but I also have taken a couple photos that I have taken on vacation.
They're both
I took
hers.
a trip to France and Italy,
Look, there goes
and
the
took
Sphinx. Okay.
and took some photos. This is probably my favorite photo that I've taken of the Eiffel Tower
this.
at night from the view of the river.
It is so perfect that when I saw it, I'm like, Matt, that's
It
going in
doesn't
the
look like a
magazine.
photograph.
It is absolutely beautiful, and it has not been altered. That is exactly how the photo looked.
Wow.
I know.
Amazing.
He took a really good. He took some good photos. I didn't know Matt was hiding out on me on his photographic skills
Okay,
as well.
wait a second. Photoshop editor? So he didn't
Yes.
edit
No,
any?
no, I can vouch for it because I scanned this in. I scanned it in. I'm no Photoshop queen, let me tell you. And he was busy that day, so I scanned it in, and it was that beautiful without doing a thing to it.
You know, I need to mention too that
Yes.
Matt Wilson is one of the producers on our show too. He works here at WCTV 14, so
Yep.
he's an awesome producer.
Yep.
He produces the Better Weathersfield show for us, so he's a guy of all trades. Really. He's fantastic. So this is beautiful.
Maybe we can grab that one on the floor down there. Because he also, this was in the Louvre, I think, right?
Yeah, this was a photo of a Sphinx that was inside the Louvre Museum in Paris.
Which I thought was absolutely beautiful. I mean, again, perfectly composed, not edited by Photoshop versus, I mean, more than just, scanning it in and just making sure all the colors are correct, but it was not altered. It's just beautifully done. It's beautifully composed. It's just a gorgeous picture. Oh, he's got way more than this that we could have
This
shown.
is so amazing.
It's so pretty. And Matt is going to be one of my chief editors, and actually Beth just got elected my chief editor. So Beth is the chief editor, and we forgot to mention that before when Beth was saying who she was, that she officially just got voted in as the new chief editor.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Awesome.
I had another girl who was really the chief editor before, but honestly, Beth has helped me more than any of the, anybody has ever helped. All these four right
What
here
does that
are
role
amazing.
entail, chief editor?
Well, you can tell me, or tell her. I can tell. It's up to you.
Well, when Mr. Ern's putting the magazine together, I'm like sitting in a little chair next to her, like, oh, maybe we should move this over here, and oh, I like green better instead of blue. And then like once the magazine's put together, she prints it out and take it home, check all the grammar, the spelling, and everything, just stuff
Very
like
good.
that, like whatever she needs, little things like that.
Yeah.
So what happens to the magazine when it's published?
Okay. When it's
How many copies do you make, and who gets them?
well, because we are poor, we can make about 70 at a time, which is up quite a bit because they're 40 pages. So 40 pages front and back. So it's like a 23 page, or 20. I can't remember what it is. Yeah.
45 pages altogether.
Yeah, 45 altogether. So, or 44 altogether. It has to be even. So, so what used to happen was I would give about 20 of them to Mr. Moore. He would take them to the Board of Ed in hopes that they would give us funding for our club, and we stopped doing that after a while because we didn't really get anywhere. So we figured we'd rather have the kids have them and they could have them if they still would like to. We'd be glad to give them copies. I'm sure they enjoyed them. I hope they did.
No, we did.
You did? Okay, good. So what I do is I make sure each member gets definitely one copy at the very least. Sometimes they want more, and so sometimes we will charge maybe $1 for an extra copy because some kids want like 10 of them, and it's so expensive to print them. I'm like, okay, well, I can't just give you 10 if you're getting, for one boy, it's so funny. He wanted for grandma, aunt, uncles. I mean, everybody wanted a copy of his work. And he's not here anymore. He graduated last year. Real good artist. And went to art school again, like all my kids.
Where?
He was accepted to Payne, and he was accepted. Pear. I'm sorry. He was accepted to Central's art program, which is really actually an amazing art program. And he was accepted to one other one, which was a really good one. I can't remember. Isn't that awful? But he ended up doing Central because of financial reasons. So, I mean, nowadays, Central's expensive enough.
Your students are great writers.
Yes, they're great writers. They're great artists. And he actually wrote two.
Have they ever considered writing a letter to the superintendent to ask for funding?
We've talked about actually having our whole group go in front of the board and superintendent. We have a new superintendent right now, so it's a whole different story. The other one had been approached and said he couldn't go in front of the board at the time and ask them for the money. So, because Mr. Moore and Mr. Fisker, who was the head of the English department, they both were advocating for me. And now Keith Raffinello, who's the one who put that in, he really is
Director of Technology.
Yeah, Director of Technology, wonderful
School
man.
system.
He's so supportive of our club. He's the one who actually put the article in the thing. I had written that note to him. That's my writing. I wrote that to him because he wrote a note to everybody, WHS all, asking if any group in the high school knew of programs that were teaching or working on reading or encouraging reading and how important it was to encourage reading, and it was this whole push to really do more reading. And ironic, and I'm like, I'm sure he doesn't know about my club because let's face it, I'm encouraging reading every time. They have to read the stories, they're writing, it's all about reading, writing, and art, and so I had written that. That's a partial piece of what I had written to him. I'm sure he didn't know about my club, blah, blah, blah. And so he actually put what I wrote to him. That's what I wrote to him. So when I saw it, I'm like, oh, he actually put what I wrote. Yeah.
So we've got about another 10 minutes left. So, do you want to talk more about what's over on the
That's
board
a good
there?
idea. Why don't we do that?
And
Why don't we
then
go in?
maybe we can talk a little bit about this piece
Okay.
in back of us. Okay, Emra, so why don't you tell us about your pieces and give us some details?
Well, my name's Emra Korktovic, and I'm a author and do a little photography. And I've recently started writing, and I have with me 3 of the things I've done. I have a
Come and hold it. Or-
I have a picture I've drawn for one of the poems that I was supposed to, and it's of a dragon protecting its baby, and then another one would be this Grim Reaper.
I love that.
I know, it's a pretty cool picture.
The color in the background is supposed to represent how the Grim Reaper sucks out life from everything it touches, and how all the color is fading away.
Ah.
Now, this was based on a literary piece from another student?
Yeah.
Okay, and and Tracy, where
That
was
was
piece?
probably 4 years ago.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, but
great.
we asked him to bring that in because we really liked that particular piece out.
Oh,
How well he did
fantastic.
artistically, so we asked him to bring that back in. In fact, Taylor was like, "Where's the Grim Reaper? I want you to bring the Grim Reaper."
favorite
Oh,
Just because he did such a beautiful job on the drawing, you can see, I mean, obviously that it is a Grim Reaper. And
Yeah, that's
I just thought it was kind of
That's
cool,
amazing.
the background.
Open late.
Yeah, I like the comedy of it because
Yeah.
even though it's a Grim Reaper in the front, if you look at it, he's got open late, $2.99 beer and lunch. I mean, it's like, why would the Grim Reaper just be in the standard place?
Right.
You know, in time. He's kind of funny. It's kind of cool. I know.
So when new students come up through the ranks at
Yes.
the high school, you save a lot of the literary
Oh,
pieces
yes.
to
Oh,
redo
yes.
the artwork from
Oh,
a
yes.
different perspective.
Definitely.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
So
I do.
Emma, this is pretty
I do.
amazing. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
And tell about your other piece that this is my
Piece right
favorite.
in front too.
I
Yeah.
also have a photograph of my dog that I took when he was sleeping, and
Can we zoom in on these?
in my opinion, he is the greatest looking dog I've ever seen.
I agree.
So this is a photograph.
Photograph I've taken last year, and I've done a little more, but mainly with hand-drawn works I've made.
Yeah, he's concentrated on pencil sketches. When I saw this picture, I just thought that his dog looked like a lion to me. Doesn't he look like a lion? He looks like he has a mane coming
see
around
it.
his face, and I was like, and the chair is gorgeous. I don't know what this
Yeah,
is.
I know, I thought it
I
was
want
a
your
bed place.
furniture. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a chair in his living room. But I was so impressed with the colors of this dog and the colors, how he blended in with the wood and everything. I said, that is the most beautiful picture
So
I've
you're a
ever
junior,
seen.
right, Emra?
Yeah,
And how long have you been in the club?
since freshman.
Yep.
year.
Oh, fantastic. Great.
Yep.
Well, these are pretty amazing. This is really great.
Thank you, Emra.
Thank you for sharing that.
He's a senior who's been in the club for about
2
2
years.
years now. It swings back and forth, the place where we sat this summer. Our swing, a summer romance, the taste of love on my tongue, the feeling of your warm hand in mine, the wind blows and I feel your kiss. The leaves rustle in the breeze and I feel warm, remembering our secret getaway. Our memories will stay with me forever.
I love that. I love that picture. I love the poem. That's one of my
I
favorite
want to buy
pieces.
that one too.
That's a beautiful piece. I would buy that one. That is a
I
gorgeous
know.
piece. And I love the poem that goes with it. Okay, Beth, so we're going to run through real quickly, and you're going to just show. We didn't bring everybody's work, and I apologize to my Lit Mag members who I didn't get their work here. We just did as much as we could, and we were rushing against time. So I just wanted to show a little brief overview of everybody's stuff here.
Okay,
So
well, I definitely think we should talk about this one.
Yes.
It was drawn by Gage Turcott, literally in less than half a period.
yes.
He just sat there, just like drew it so fast.
And it's Aspire. It's the First Church, which of course is better. Yep, it's the letter I on our sign. It's supposed to be the spire of First Church, which he did a little bit of creative endeavors on the bottom. He added some things, but I don't think are really on the spire, but maybe they are. I don't know. Okay, go ahead with the next one.
Okay, the next picture right here is by Rebecca Wilson, who's a sophomore in Lit Mag.
And Matt's sister.
Is that a photograph?
Yes, it is. It's a photograph from Mill Woods, which is one of our great areas.
Oh, see, I love that.
I do too.
Next is a permanent marker drawing by Caitlin Dort, who's a junior in our club.
Yep, and has
What
been
does
a
that
member.
mean, permanent marker?
She actually used permanent markers, Sharpies.
Oh, Sharpie?
Sharpie markers. So
paper.
there's no mistaking when you're doing this one. That's it. You know, it is what it is. And I thought it was just so cool and funky. Okay.
Okay, this is a pastel drawing by Daniela Minutino, who's a freshman
Yep.
in our group.
And a very amazing artist.
Beautiful.
She actually, it's called The Trout and the Minnow, and she actually had me listen to the beautiful song that it goes with, and what inspired her to write the song, draw the picture was a song, and by Adele, which is absolutely a gorgeous song, and it really does make it sense when you see it and hear the song. Go ahead.
Okay. And the picture under it is a pencil sketch by Rachel Bobadilla, who's a junior in our group.
Yep, also been with us since freshman year and a very, very excellent artist and writer.
I wonder why the girl's upside down.
It was My Angel. I can't remember what the purpose of the girl being upside down, but it did go with the poem, and the poem was actually in the book. I don't know if we have time to read it, but
Looking.
it is really cool. She just does really unique, funky
We only
things.
have like a couple more
Okay, so we'll go to the leaf.
Okay, this is a photograph by Gabe Rocha, who's a senior in our group.
Yep. And his mother is Ruth George, who is my editor-in-chief. And then we have Jessica Gray.
The marionette from
Yeah.
before, the pencil sketch.
Yep.
And then a photograph by Bethany Vieira, who is a junior in our group also.
Oh, I love that one too.
I do too. It's beautiful. That was from the October snowstorm, which tomorrow, God
And
forbid.
quickly, guys, because we have like 30 seconds.
Yep.
Let's talk about the banner that
Want
you
to do
guys
it? Can you
did.
come over here, Beth, real quick? 100 miles an hour. We'll tell you. Beth's been working on this with me, as is Matt, and as is Matt, and as is Taylor every single day, and obviously Abby, because Abby is our beautiful colorer. B was the literary magazine. That was supposed to be the letter B for the book, literary magazine books. One of our, Deirdre Fern, actually drew that. And I actually have a better version of that, which we're going to fix up this sign. This is just not the totally edited version.
Oh, I love the E with the fork. And the
Thank
knife
you.
and-
I drew that. There's a few of my drawings on here. I did the fork, spoon, and the glass spilling and knife, because there's so many places that are great to eat in Wethersfield.
Yeah.
The scarecrows on Main Street is what the next to letter T, because that represents the scarecrow. That's a wonderful part of Wethersfield.
How about just a couple more?
Yep, the
Highlight?
Grange, the farmer's market, the skate park. The onion, of course, is the symbol of Wethersfield. The good pizza places to eat. The beautiful old trees in downtown on the green. The T also represents all the flora and fauna of Wethersfield, the old houses of Wethersfield, the Comstock Ferry Company, the farmer's market, the sports in town, the flag on top of the, in the downtown area of Old Wethersfield, which is a fabulous thing, First Church Spire, the dog park, the Cove, and last but not least, just again, a beautiful letter D by Caitlin Bork. She really didn't have anything to do with it. We just thought the beauty of Wethersfield. How's
I
that?
love the skate park one. That's
I thought
awesome.
isn't that great?
See,
I
that
know.
art, that's why it's extended, is because of the park. Who did
Exactly.
that?
That was by Ryan Zito. He's a
That's
new
pretty
freshman
cool.
as well. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. Taylor did the E and Beth. Taylor did the Grange Hall. I did the scarecrow and the fork, knife, and spoon. Chelsea LaBelle did
Fantastic.
the pizza. Beth did the onion. Deirdre Fern did the book.
Amazing.
I did the other E. Emra Korkatovic did the tea with the bunny and the flower and the thing who was here earlier. And I know. And I could go on and on. We've worked.
I know.
I know everybody and everything. I've worked on this for weeks.
Well, I want to thank Mrs. Reardon, the founder of the club,
Thank
Pieces
you.
Literary Magazine, and Matt and Beth and Abby and Taylor for coming on the show. We're so excited to have them here. Thank you so much for the sign again.
not a problem.
Really appreciate it, and thanks for being on our show, you guys.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
everyone. See
Thank
you
you
soon.
so
Bye-bye.
much. Bye-bye.